All right. Hello and welcome. It is Sunday. It is Snowbirds meeting room. I'm Shadow Spectre 11, and I am here with Billy's Brew, Chiggy Man, Dyer, Gortok, Road Rash, and Super. And today, we're going to talk about a few things. We're going to talk about space. I'm sorry, Space Guy Tie is probably running late, so no worries. Um, but to start off with, we have plenty to talk about what is coming with the patch watch notes. Hey, Miss Peaches, and the patch notes that are already out, and a new event, a global event that is coming in this next patch. It's a play test with the next patch that is hopefully, crossing fingers, dropping today. So, and I'm gonna bring up some things with the differences between the Zeus and the C1.
Hmm.
Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna kick it over to the scene and kick us off and get us started. Where's my mouse? Oh, there it is. Duh. And let me make
Roger
sure
that,
that I
Roger.
don't have a bunch of music running. There we go. So, to start off with, has
Your Halloween
everybody.
costume.
No.
You need to pick that out right now.
No. Hey, Robert, what's up? Has everybody seen the Patch Watch Fuel Faces and Facelifts? Has everybody looked at that so far?
I haven't looked at it, but I know what it has.
Yeah, I mean,
I
I've
haven't played
gone
with it.
through it. I've gone through it, and uh, if anybody has played Arena Commander, has ever tried it, the new interface is freaking awesome. It looks good. Um, Now, they did change it to where when you set up everything and you bring your ship, it actually lifts out of the on the elevator and you can see the ship before you go into flight. It's kind of cool. Um, the interface is totally different, and it, like I say, it looks really good. But I'll have
I
to
think
get a
the
screenshot. Go ahead.
the interface looks really good, like you said. I think it transitions really well now. Before it was kind of clunky getting in and out of Arena Commander, but now it just flows almost instantaneously. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's a good addition or a good upgrade to that.
Right. And if you go to it right now, you can see that it's all Halloween themed. So it's kind of slick. Um, the next thing, all of the new faces and DNA scans and tattoos and piercings and all like that in the content creator. This is what another thing that people have been waiting for. We got new hairstyles and all this type of stuff. I thought it was cool. Um, the tattoos, it they're cool, but I mean, all you because most of the time you're wearing a spacesuit. Um, hey, Tribunal, when you go and put on civilian clothes, you'll see more of the tattoo. You know,
And
and
I think that maybe part of their plan is get
Yeah.
off the ship, take your helmet off, type of thing, interact.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Yeah, suit lockers comes to
Hmm.
I like the
right,
fact that when I hit randomize on the character creator, it comes up with something interesting now. It's much more random.
mm-hmm.
Maybe I don't know if we want to talk about the diversity.
Go ahead,
Yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah.
the diversity of the characters is pretty nebulous, I guess you could say, between the genders. But like what you come up with when you hit random used to be a small, minor amount of changes, but now it's much more diverse. Pretty cool.
Well, and if they
Yeah,
bring in any alien characteristics, that'd be kind of fun too to hit random and see what happens.
Oh my God,
Oh,
Yeah, you can click that random button for a
yeah.
long time,
Right.
I want to be a
and
turtle.
eventually come up with something that you like, and then you can adjust it too. So
Yeah. Well, they'll have to put some
it's
lore
pretty
behind
cool
that,
though.
I guess.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to say this, and we've all experienced the old character creator, and now with the new, this thing is robust compared to what it was.
Oh, sure.
It's much better. I enjoy making the character. I have Spectre 11, I have Spectre 12, where I can just swap real quick, and then, I can bring Spectre 12 on my alt and do him up a different way and stuff like that. So it makes it
That,
interesting. Yeah.
especially the short time I got the my tracker and webcam to work where it, did the facial recognition, so I can take a spin off of my ugly mug and just play with it, which is real makes things fun.
You know what? I
Yeah,
think I'll do that with
Toby's
Spectre.
working too.
I'm going to do that with Spectre 12. The reason
Yeah.
why he's the male, so I can put my face in there
He
and
can't be that pretty. Come on.
oh man, why you got to be cold like that? Okay, okay. Oh man, but
One thing
yeah,
that I
go.
wish they would add, they have it. I've tested the, you can save your profiles, but I wish it would be a little easier to just kind of switch between them.
Yeah.
Like if you want to even like look at your current profile, it kind of uh, takes you to the randomizer, or the initial start, as opposed to the modify current. So I kind of wish that would evolve a little bit, but I think they're getting there.
Mm, it is a little.
Yeah.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Where it's kind of clunky to get to your different character, if you want to bring up, like if
Right. If you've already created a character and you want to go into it, and let's just say change the hair
Manipulate
color,
something.
and
Yeah.
you haven't saved that, then you have to just basically recreate it from scratch. It's
mm,
not. It doesn't put you into your current default. At least it didn't
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
last patch. I'm not sure if they've
Like
changed
it
it
goes
yet.
back to default.
yeah,
So yeah.
and the thing is, if you wipe your user folder, you have to create a generic character and then save it, and then it adds the folder, and then you can add your stuff to it, and then when you go back in, you can load the one you want. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
I mean,
Yeah.
to
Yep.
get to explain it, it's kind of weird, but yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's crazy.
Are you on YouTube
Yeah,
right now?
Yes.
yeah,
I
I'm
must
on.
still haven't seen it.
Oh, it's a different channel.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Over meeting room.
so let's see. Okay, from this one, I think we all have seen the Arena Commander updates. Now the quantum fuel has been fixed in the newest patch,
The
and
upcoming.
oh no, well the upcoming, but in the newest patch, uh, when they dropped it, the quantum fuel
Mm.
con-
Mm-hmm.
prices are fixed. So yesterday, while I was out testing, I took the 600i stock engine, and I went from uh, ArcCorp to Microtech to Crusader to Magnus, and then to Terra, and then to the Pyro Jump Point on one tank. That was pretty significant
That's
Yeah.
huge.
because,
Compared to what it was.
oh, dude, the 600i would gobble fuel just going around the system. But with that, it was one tank was awesome, and that was stock. Could you imagine putting that an XL1 in there? Remember how the XL1 would suck up fuel like crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you were getting around pretty fast, actually. I mean, I
Yeah, I
was
think
surprised.
that's
You
a
said,
little
I
bit of the
said, you went to
adjustment.
Magnus? I was like, oh, man, that's way out there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then
They
you came on,
adjusted
and
like the
next
larger
thing you know,
trip.
you're at Pyro jump point.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that didn't take him but what, 5 or 10 minutes? That's pretty moving pretty good.
Well, they did say that the longest jump should just take about 12 minutes.
Right.
Yeah, that's pretty good, man.
Yeah.
So I don't think you really need an XL. Should just stick with what you got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Like right in the Zeus's, I'm just rocking the stock one,
Chaos.
and I
Yeah, it's
yeah,
a
it doesn't
chaos.
doesn't bother me at all. I'm enjoying
Yeah.
it.
I'm happy with the stock engine on the Zeus. To be fair,
Yeah.
I thought it did very well.
Yep. Good
Um.
enough for me.
So next thing, since we're looking at patch notes, let's take a look at the patch notes that came out the other day. There was a lot of gameplay features. There was a lot of updates with the, bug fixes and things like that. But significantly, Wikipedia did say today that they're going to fix the persistent MFDs. So when you're setting your MFDs, they would revert back. But
Right.
they're changing that. They're saying that they're fixing that in this build that's going to drop today. So we will
Hip hip
see.
hooray!
Yes.
Yeah. Is there a lock button on there, or does it just stay where you set them?
It should stay.
It should
Hopefully.
stay, but I'm going to test that today and
Yeah.
check it out. Um,
Assuming maybe after a claim or something, it may not, but
well,
who
yeah,
knows? Maybe.
the ship is rebuilt, so
Yeah.
you're going to have to reset it. Um, that they said now flight tuning and arc type balance is ongoing during PTU. Uh, they did do some work on the HUD and MFD rework. They did some tests with that.
Hey, Shadow, real quick, I just had kind of a comment or question maybe on those keybind configs, and if they're saved to like your user file as an XML, you might be able to save those in the future. That would be pretty cool, and then it'd be easier to
Well,
Agreed.
load them, if you will, maybe.
okay. Do you use Starjoy? Have you ever
Never.
used it? Okay. Starjoy and Artec recommends this, and I've used it. Hello. Um, Starjoy is where you can go and configure your keyboard, your sticks. So once you set it and then do all the stuff with it, you got to remember even Game Glass is going to be updated with all the new keybinds, and then you have to go in to the shard and configure what you want. So I've I haven't really done anything with the configurations or anything like that because there has been a lot of I don't get a whole lot of time to do it, but today that's one thing I'm going to do is just sit down and start figuring them out. Welcome back, Dyer and Everett. Hello.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Is that better?
I'm late, but I'm here.
No, you're fine. Don't worry about that. Um, I just haven't had a whole lot of time now. The Shave figured out the weapons config
Yeah.
when you did that, and I haven't done it yet. So I'm just like I say, I've been doing a lot of other stuff. But what do you got? How was it simple? Was it really
It
complicated?
was pretty simple. I related it to the elite dangerous bindings, and it worked really well.
Mm-hmm.
And especially since they changed the configurations in the key bindings menu, it for a button to shoot what the configurations in group 1 and a button for group 2 and group 3. It makes a world of difference. It's really simple.
So I guess maybe last weekend was whenever that change hit and everyone kind of flipped out a little bit because the configurations
Right.
were very
Yeah.
restrictive. But now that we've got the new ones, it's good.
It's way better. Yep.
I use the Buzz Killer, one of his profiles for my bindings, and it's worked really well for me.
Well, when they put that out, and they fixed that quick. They fixed
that's
that
what I was
in
gonna
the
say. We
next
have to give them
patch.
kind of props. They definitely took our input and made a quick mod.
I know they caught a lot of flack for it instantly, so I'm
Yeah,
sure they were trying to
they got reamed.
extinguish. Yeah.
They got reamed, and they jumped on that real fast. And kudos to them.
Yeah,
Sure.
now the functionality is like quadrupled really, because you can have 4 triggers, and so
Exactly.
you
Yeah.
use a modifier key. You can change groups, and it's pretty sweet now.
Let's see. They say that they're working on the hangar cargo platform lighting, so that's a work in progress, which is good because you go over to the freight elevator and it's dark, you can't see anything. It's like, yeah, okay. I appreciate it, Everett. Thank you very much. So, what was what do you find in this latest patch that made it really significant change? I'm gonna say it was the quantum fuel issue.
We could afford to venture out now. Yep.
Yeah, I was about to get a desk job. Tell me.
Yeah, I quit
Yeah, you need
playing
to have
for
like
2
a
days.
rich uncle or something if you want to start the game, because every mission you do
Everybody's flying a
costs
lunchbox.
twice as much. Yeah.
Oh, there he goes. He said the lunchbox. Miss Peaches is watching.
Oh.
I love the radar. It's dynamic.
Yes.
Oh, that's great too. Yeah.
Yeah, turn it off to get rid of all the turret pips.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You're coming into a station and you got all those markers for all the turrets.
Mm-hmm.
Turn the radar off. That goes away.
Well, they took it out. They changed it, and then it came
fixed that.
back in this
Yeah.
in this patch. So I'm wondering if they're going to refine it again. I don't know.
Another thing that sticks out to me is when you go to Quantum and you pick a moon or something for your destination, it shows you the light and the dark side of the moon.
On the icon, yeah.
On the map.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say one thing on the list that I haven't seen but I want to see that might be the biggest thing would be the caves, the acidic caves.
I
Haven't seen those yet. Yeah.
We went.
It looked
Well,
really cool.
Ty and Gortok and I went to a cave, but it happened to be a sand cave that we found, and it was different. It was different. Super just likes the doghouse. Oh, you busted.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
I'm still gonna check out acidics. I haven't found one yet. I've been doing so much other stuff, but I did take the CL out for a run yesterday, and when you went into quantum, okay, now we normally know that when you switch to nav mode, your weapons are supposed to turn off, right?
Mm-hmm.
They did not, and I lost power. I couldn't maneuver the ship. I couldn't do anything, and I was falling to Area 18. I almost splattered, and I went back to SEM and went back up, and I couldn't get quantum to kick in. And Gortok said, "Go to power management and shut your weapons off." Hello,
Sure enough.
what's up, Tone? And sure enough, I had control. It's a weird bug.
Power
So,
Yep.
management has definitely got a little bit of adjustments. I kind of
mhm,
like that. Like, I think it's probably some engineering ties to other, like if your coolers are overheating or something. But for it to be
Yeah.
happening randomly now, it's kind of dangerous.
well, look at it like this, okay? If you have to turn your weapons off while you're in SCM and then go into quantum mode or nav mode, that kind of makes sense, but it's a bit redundant. Oh,
Yeah.
no. Yeah.
It's like when it used to be that when you hit SEM, it killed your shields and your weapons.
Yeah, you're in
I
the
mean,
nav
I mean,
mode.
uh, and when you went to nav mode, it killed your shields and your weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Now it doesn't.
Yeah, but
You have
that's
to
on
turn the
this.
weapons off.
But I'm wondering if that's ship wide.
Well, I've seen it on the CL. I
Yeah,
don't know about the other ones.
I have to check.
Yeah.
I have to check.
But
Be right
that
back.
kind of bites because it doesn't enable quantum.
Mm-hmm.
You have to remember to go down there and kill your weapons.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Anybody else got a comment about that? Because that's significant. That's a
I think
significant change.
Well, it
think on your
seems like.
on
Go
your
ahead.
self status screen, you
Mm-hmm.
should be able to see your field all the time, not only when you're in quantum.
Agreed.
Yes.
You should be able to see your field status at all
Yeah.
times.
They need to add a scroll ability keybind for the power management section rather than having to use the F key and the mouse while in flight. Agreed. But I think there is an icon when you're on uh, the MFD for the power management for a specific spot. It has a little icon where the greater than and less than sign are together, and maybe that's the scroll option. I'll have to try it because I found that yesterday and I was like, what is this? So I have to check it out. Welcome back, Tone. What's up? Can't hear. Okay. Anybody else got a comment on this particular uh, subject?
No, I wish I had one.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I think that the what you mentioned in the power management about the highlighted one or whatever, that's what column has focus, and then you can hotkey up and down. And there's another hotkey to change the column. But it is kind of cumbersome. There's a lot more key bindings involved with kind of. I think we'll get used to it, but it's going to take some time.
It needs to that one needs to change. I mean, I can still use the triangle that's in Game Glass to put power towards certain things, but with the way that's set up now, it's it's a it's like you say, it's cumbersome. It
I've
is.
If you're in a ship
managed
with
to.
a tractor beam, you just make sure that you power that thing on because I can get you in the CL and the C1 both.
Mm-hmm.
If that's not powered on, then you have to kind of jump through hoops to go back and get it.
Whoa.
Yeah, they
Okay.
screwed up the buttons on the tractor pistol too.
SC testing chat. Both Pulse and Medevac are in ship stores today, as well as a few more. Sorry, not Atlas just yet. So
Huh,
the Pulse and the
In-game
Medevac,
versions.
cutting game.
and I know a lot of people have been asking for these Retaliator modules added to Omega Pro Shop, and more in today's build. So
Wow.
for those that have the Retaliator, you are going to be able to buy the modules in game,
Nice.
and
What about the ones that already got it in game, even though they don't know yet?
Tell 'em.
well,
Retaliator.
I mean
Right.
they're there, but
For some reason, I have the bombs for the Retaliator front and rear in my
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's a
got
good point. I have that too, but I don't have a Retaliator. I think.
well,
Yeah.
it's in the PTU. I've seen it. So this should be changing over, and uh, but it's been what? How many patches have we had since those have been implemented? It's been 3 cycles. So the pulse, it's about time. That should come, and the medevac as well, because those were brought out at July, June. It's been
Can you
over three
estimate on the
months.
price?
No,
Pulse will be like 50K.
I don't know. I don't know.
It shouldn't be much.
No, it shouldn't be a whole
Yeah.
lot, but it is a vehicle, so we'll see what happens. Um, Anybody else got anything on the patch notes? Nope.
It's a huge list.
Yeah, it's a huge. That's what I was gonna say.
Well, the
They've
bug
been busy.
Qual-
the bug
Quality of
fixes are
life for
huge.
refueling our ships would be nice instead of having to go in manual all the time.
Well, that's going to change.
Yeah.
They're still having issues with that, but the bug fixes from these last patch notes were huge. That was a huge amount of bug fixes. Yeah, they did really dim the lights on. Did they really dim the lights on the Zeus? Okay.
Yes,
Yes.
big time.
And I think they should have left that alone. The light intensity was perfect on it.
Yep.
Especially for the expedition variant. Like, come on, you're gonna want to have nice lights on something like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Um, let's see.
Is there
Any?
anything?
Yeah, go ahead, Joe.
Is there anything about any potential ship reworks?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
The one main thing that they were saying right now is flight tuning and archetype balance, but that's in this set of patch notes. We don't know what's going to come out in the newest ones yet. But there is going to be a playtest for an event in this next PTU patch. And if any of you don't forget the Cookie Monster fuel increase also. Oh, yeah. Um, there was a fuel increase for the Reclaimer. So,
How?
What, the size of the tanks?
The usage?
no, quantum fuel.
Consumption rate?
I think the size of the tank has gotten bigger. I don't know. I haven't gotten into it, so I'll check it out. What's up, Zero?
Hey, good morning. Good morning.
Howdy.
Morning,
Hey,
Joe.
Zero.
Um, I'll have to get into the Reclaimer and check it and see what the fuel range is, because I've used the stock engine and I got
Right.
better usage out of it, because one time we put a TS2 in there. Remember that Gortok? We ran out of fuel.
Yeah. Yeah. That was not a good day.
the the Reclaimer fuel tank is now 4 times larger than the 600i. That's what Tribunal's saying. So that's pretty significant.
So in other words, you can get somewhere in a hurry without not making it.
No, it's 4 times larger. More quantum fuel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can put an actual drive on it and get somewhere in
Right.
a hurry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, in the PTU.
I'm not in there yet. Um. Okay, so with that, anybody else got anything about patch notes of things that you have noticed and seen in this latest patch until the new one comes out?
Yeah, I got.
Go ahead.
Oh,
Go ahead, Zero.
I was first, sir. that target locking. How does that work? You just play around with that.
Precision targeting,
Yeah.
right click on your mouse
Mhm.
and it will expand and then you'll be able to precision target.
Is it pretty good?
Uh, I would say yes. I haven't done any combat in the PTU yet, but I believe Super and Everett have used it, if I'm correct.
Yeah, I use the left alt plus the second button on the mouse. And if you want to do a zoom for max, you hold the second mouse button and then you can zoom.
Okay.
Okay.
Um, any other thoughts?
I could say on the new patch, I do like the new handling on the Redeemer. It's a lot more agile, like a Vanguard. I
Mm-hmm.
could confirm on the Foxy Loxy.
Okay.
Nice.
Cool.
Good to hear.
Okay.
Yeah,
Any
I'm really
other?
liking the graphics. I really liking the graphics too. They're getting
I
better.
Yeah, I second that.
Oh, I'll third that because things are a lot cleaner and sharper. Um,
Yes.
I'm gonna do a test when I get the new system, and I'm gonna try Vulkan and see how it runs compared to DX11. And the last time I did it was when 23 dropped, and I could tell things were running better, but it kind of overloaded. It kind of overloaded everything, and I was starting to see a slideshow when I would go to like a moon and stuff like that. So I went back to DX11, and I really haven't had the problem. So I'll try it and see what it's like, and then I'll revert back and see the difference. So
Have they adjusted the graphics render rate for distance? Because you can still ride up to a moon and you can see the square that they're trying to render in where everything else is just there.
that I can't say. I mean, there's times when I've come up on a moon or even a planet, and all of a sudden I'll get a resyncing with server flag, and then sometimes everything is like not rendered in, and then all of a sudden everything renders at once. Now
Huh.
that may be just me because I'm running the external drive and you guys aren't. So you probably see something render a hell of a lot faster than I do.
Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I've also been known to pull up on a planet and then all of a sudden just pops in front of me.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm
Orbital
using an
stations do that
onboard.
too.
Yeah, and I've got an onboard NVMe drive, right? So
Well, I've had it. Well, I'm going to say it. I've run into uh, every station because sometimes they don't render, and I'm flying in and I'm trying to gauge where it's going to pop in, and the next thing I know, there it is, bam. So, so
That's happened to me on like flying on planet side, and mountains are just suddenly in your cockpit.
Yeah, I've noticed that in space. Like, whoa, was that a rock I just flew quantum by?
right,
What's
right.
going
or
on?
that, or that was Dak.
And it also, has anybody noticed that it seems like the stations from the planet side are closer, or is it just me?
In the PTU, they have given them better lighting,
Mm,
so you can see where it's at, which I'm loving. I think that's awesome. Um, but has anybody noticed this in the latest patch? When you go, uh, you leave the station. You don't have to quantum to the planet to get to where you're going. Has anybody noticed that?
Not yet.
Okay. I
yes.
I didn't have to do that the other day or yesterday, where you would leave the station and then all of a sudden you'd have to quantum towards the planet and then make another jump to go where you're going.
Yeah, they added that in 24. I didn't like that.
Yeah, well,
And I find that if you look at the ring that goes around the station, I could call that like the sphere of influence would be like the round ball. And once you leave that sphere of influence, then you would see the planet markers down on the planet. But if you're within that sphere of influence, you could only see the planet marker, and you had to jump to that and then jump to another location. But if you flew just outside of that and got into the atmosphere of the planet, because now they increase the atmosphere height of the planet. Um, Once you fly out of that, then all of a sudden all the planet markers would pop up, and then you could jump to wherever you wanted to go.
mm-hmm. Anybody else on that particular subject? Because it was kind of annoying.
Mm-hmm.
Very.
Yeah, because it was
Yeah,
nice to just
it
come out of
definitely
your
it
hangar,
definitely
poke your
was.
nose down at the planet, and find where you wanted to go and go. Right.
Yeah, I think
Just
that's
to
where
spin
it's
back
at
on what
now. It's getting back to that now.
Go ahead, Zero.
oh, just to circle back on what I was talking about. The other day, I just flew up to the space station without quantum from
Yeah, I've done that.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can.
and it didn't take long.
Right.
To me, it seemed like it used to take long. That's what I was basically saying.
It can. Yeah. It's say you go into nav mode because you're going to get the better speed, and you can fly up to the station without going into quantum. You can do that. Yeah.
Well, I
Mhm.
think they shrunk the atmosphere on planets too, so that
Mm-hmm.
makes a big difference as far as exiting and getting into space and moving faster and all that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, that's not bad.
Give me a minute. I'm going to go get a seltzer water. I'll be right back.
Hmm.
I'm sitting here looking for a new pair of rain pants because as of tomorrow, raining season's going to start where I live. And when you ride a motorcycle, you tend to get a bit wet.
Oh yeah.
I
I
know.
swear the bottom fell out the sky last night over here, man. It was
No, yeah,
damn.
yeah. It's
They're
coming tonight. It's
talking
coming
snow
tonight.
already this weekend.
Oh,
Okay.
Come back.
All right,
Okay. Good. Go ahead,
I
Zero.
got another question for you. Has anybody had a chance to check out the? I don't know if y'all talked about the new updates in Arena Commander. How are they?
They're good.
no, I haven't.
What are you specifically asking about?
Nope, just general. Is overall, you know, how's the
Um,
experience?
the we did talk about the interface. It's much cleaner. It's not as clunky, and the loading is pretty nice.
Outfitting your ship seemed a lot easier and smoother.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet. I know I'm late to the party. I probably asked some questions y'all already covered. So
No, we haven't covered a lot. There's a lot to cover, but you know, as we play it more, we find things, and the like I say, putting stuff into the issue council if you run into an issue is paramount. I mean, I've been doing a lot of it, and there's some stuff that I still have to report, but you know, I keep a pretty close eye on specific ones, and the one about the where you can't get an elevator to go to a hangar, that's been uh, fixed, but I don't know about live. I haven't really been in live as much because of that fact, and I've been living off of Mike L1. So, um, anybody else got anything on the patch notes for this particular patch we're in now?
the replaying times.
Say again.
The reclaim times.
That's been fixed because the Zeus was at 51 minutes. It is now down to what? 8?
Yeah,
Two,
and
yeah,
then
just over 2 expedited.
yeah, 251, I think, something silly like that.
Awesome.
Um, okay. So, anybody got anything else on this? Nope. Okay. Okay, I'm going to the next topic, and that is the new playtest that is coming up for a global event in the next patch that we're supposed to get today. Global event mission Save Stanton. So, tonight they're going to kick this over, and we'll be enabling the first 4 phases of the new event called mission called Save Stanton. While more phases of this event will be arriving later, tonight we'll be testing the first 4 with you all and gathering bugs and feedback on mission flow. I won't go too much into detail on what to expect from the mission, so let us know how these descriptions and instructions are in game. Known issues. Here we go. Known issues. Phase 1. Phase 1, Mission B missions. Cargo, delivery objects does not update the amount needed to deliver after request items for delivery node returns a success. This is a hit and miss. Players may get soft locked out of completing Mission B. Workaround: if Mission B, retrieve cargo, is blocked, they can just play Mission A. Okay. Phase 2, Mission Content Streaming. Mission items are taking excessive amount of time to stream in. No workaround. Phase 2, AI sometimes failing to spawn at the mission locations. This only affects some locations. Workaround: abandon mission and accept new one. Phase 3, objective marker does not show unless another marker is created. Uh, Terminal mission markers do not disappear upon all terminals being hacked. Oh boy. Terminal marker area does not appear when reaching the DC. So we're going to a distribution center on this one. We'll find out. But that's supposed to be that's the known issues of this mission. We haven't gotten all the particulars yet of what it is and how it's supposed to work. So we'll find out. This is going to be another overdrive. So
So
if you've done the overdrive mission in 22 and the first part of 23, you kind of know what to expect. Hopefully things will work and we'll go from there. But we'll see.
All I know is we got to get Tex on it immediately.
Right? Get Tex through. It took him 20 times to finish that mission. The last one. Wow. That's pretty much all that I have on that. Now, has anybody got any comments on what this mission is going to be? What do you think?
I
Yeah,
I I think, and I think we touched on it earlier, is that maybe they should wait and
Right.
do this a little bit later.
All right, let's get some more quality of life stuff in before you start crashing the servers again some more. They crash enough as it is.
Well, this event is not going to be like with Xenothreat coming or anything like that. This is one that we did for Overdrive. Overdrive was different. Remember,
What
Uh-huh.
if this?
the
What are the chances that this is going to unlock something for CitizenCon or
It's a-
related to it?
well, look at it like this. This is a prologue event to a massive event. So
Nice.
look at it like this. Remember when we did Overdrive, it was Xenothreat was supposed to come, right? This is probably the same premise, and the next massive event may be we go to Pyro and take on Xenothreat. I don't know.
Now,
We could speculate.
I read something like that. I might have my wires crossed a little bit, but yeah, it's supposed to have something to do with pyro.
Well,
Maybe we have to save the whales.
Yeah.
oh, we gotta go. We gotta go to Save Man Crusader. There ain't no whales flying. Come on, man.
Not yet.
Not
Now,
yet.
dare I say it? If I'm not mistaken, I think I seen something about them bringing in Alex ship. It's gonna be a part of this.
No,
I might be
no,
wrong.
No.
no, no.
Oh,
Did you
I said,
have
dare I
to?
say it?
how does
what
it go? You
you?
shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
You said it. We don't know. We totally don't know. But if they do what they did last time, we could see Xenothreat coming again. But I'm gonna say this, and I'm speculating. I would rather see that on 4.0 than anything sooner because that's the mesh, and I think it will run a whole lot better than just running it on what we had before. Go ahead,
I'd
Dyer.
rather.
Oh, go ahead, Everett.
Dyer, your mic is you're not connected. Okay,
Oh.
we can't hear you. There you are. Now we can hear you.
Okay.
Go for it.
He muted his mic anyway.
Oh,
No.
I have nothing to say. I'm good.
Oh, okay. I was going to say that I would love to see an instantaneous attack from the aliens for about 30 minutes, and then they all bugger off. No announcement. They just come in, cause havoc, and then leave.
Yeah, a jump in, and then we get alerted, and then we respond, and then they bug out. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, why announce that they're going to attack when they just do a surprise attack?
Hit and run tactics.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. I like it. And go ahead, Road Rash.
I was just gonna say I was watching a video last night, and I'll put it over here into the general chat of our Discord. But it was talking about the 3-phase events, save stat and 3-phase mega event, and he goes through all the different things in the video. It starts about a minute 30 into the video here, so I'll just throw it into our Star Citizen chat here. The link in there. Come on, open up. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you're curious and want to have a quick gander at it, it's in there, and it starts about a minute 30 into it.
Okay. Okay. Anybody else got any thoughts on this one? Because, I mean, you could speculate all day on how this is going to work.
Yeah.
No? No thoughts? Okay.
Now includes a
I'm going to go to Evocati. And this is, I'm only going to say what Space Tie told us while we were listening to him. And we've all seen pictures, we've all seen the jumps and stuff like that. I haven't personally watched any of the videos of the jump points, and I did watch. I did watch Salty. Bless you. What?
That's good.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be at distribution centers. That's where it's supposed to be.
I watched Salty Mike's commentary on the Evo test this morning, and what he was talking about, but I didn't watch anything else. What Space Tie did say is that he had a hard time getting through the jump point. So for those that have watched the videos, you can go ahead and say what you got to say. I haven't watched anything. I want
It
to.
looks very difficult. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
it's very
Um,
difficult.
from what I could tell from the guys that were jumping through, they were using mouse and keyboard, and you could see just the little movements that they were making, but it was making big movements to the ship as it was going through the tube. When you watch the Star Citizen trailer of it, it looks like they can just fly through it no problem and get through there. But from what I've seen from the guys that were flying through, they look like they were struggling just to keep it within the walls.
Yep.
Okay, go ahead,
As it
Zero.
should be.
No,
Sorry.
pretty much the same thing. That you got a nav. You can't just sit there. You got to actually put in some work. And
Well,
if,
Yeah.
yeah,
and if you
it
miss
should be
it,
tough.
and if you miss it, it'll dump you out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Can I speak my mind on that?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Load of shit.
What?
That just brings in another aspect of space trucking. Got to get that tow truck out.
Yeah, negative. Well, I like that side of it, but
Hmm.
if I'm trucking from A to B and I'm hauling freight, the last thing I want to do is take an extended cucumber with a load of boxes on it through a wormhole that twists like a corkscrew.
Okay.
Just saying.
Okay. But that's a very valid point because the whole sea is going to be very difficult to run through a wormhole.
Yes.
I think it opens up the ability to, like, Pyro's a spicy place, so it's a spicy jump point. So I'm not really sure if in the lore, like, all jump points are spicy, but maybe ones that are to more, like, built up systems are a more straightforward jump. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Well, maybe that it also brings in, you know, a fact of I'm not saying anybody's underskilled by any means, but like skilled pilots, for traveling through those, traversing those might become more of a precious commodity.
Yeah, it definitely looked like you had to kind of, like, ride your belly into the curves and around the curves. You couldn't just fly in a 2D kind of like a planes
Sure.
pattern.
Yeah.
No,
Right. They
That's why I
should
said
be
I'm
able
gonna
to
be
change
a
the
crew
s-
member. I'm gonna
they
be
should,
riding on somebody else's
well,
ship, and if we crash, then I'll help you out. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch.
you should
yeah,
be able to change the speed that you go through there so that you have time to make those changes,
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But
not
also
just
that,
get sucked through at Mach Jesus and
Depends
expect
on
to
what
know
the
what to do.
dictating factor is. Are you allowing you to control that, or is it, just up to the
Well,
wormhole?
according to Ty, he's thinking that they're looking at people's paths to determine the course.
Right.
So they're looking at what people are doing now to try to determine the best course.
Oh, gotcha.
And
All right, I
then
have a
also,
once they got that figured out, then maybe they'll allow us to either buy
Development
it or
phase.
whatever. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. Just brought a point. You just brought a real good point up without saying it. Rent a pilot.
Hmm.
You stop
Right.
at the
Exactly.
station. You suck at flight. I've been there. I know I suck at flight. Yeah, and I rent a pilot to take me to the other side.
that makes sense because wormholes are natural. They're not man-made, so you gotta be on your game. You can't walk away from the cockpit.
Mm.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
I'm sure this is all stuff they're talking about.
Oh
They
yeah.
got to be working through the exact same things right now.
Mm-hmm.
So,
From what I gather, the first part of the test was very stable, and Space Tide did say that it was very stable for this first play test. Now, as it went on, it started to degrade, and they were getting server error after server error after server error. So, for the very first build of an Evocati playtest, they said it was pretty stable. So
Good to hear.
we can only go by what we're getting from leaks and stuff like that. But
Yeah, Salty Mike said the same thing. It was really stable at the beginning, and it just started crashing and crashing and crashing after.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
got
and
gunked up.
it was only like 100 people.
right, but
Yep.
Yep.
what Ty did say when he first got in there, and once he got settled in, excuse me, it was very stable at the beginning. So we'll go with that.
Yeah, take it.
Um, I'll take it. And then, like I say, um, as server meshing starts, we may see a 200 to 300 first run. I don't know. But as time goes on, we'll see it evolve to larger numbers. So I'll take a 5 or 3 to 500 any day to get us going,
Hmm. Yeah.
and then go
I
from there.
agree.
Well, things have improved. I can remember when the max number was like 50.
Big time.
Hmm.
I
I
have.
go ahead, go ahead, sir.
After you, sir. After you.
I started when we only had 50 in the server, and then what was it, 317? Or something like that. They threw in uh 100, and then it kind of increased to 120 or something like that. So it's gotten much better, but like I say, I'm ready for at least, if they even go to 200 to 300 to 500. That's a major step. So we'll see. We'll see. Anybody else got any things on the Evocati playtest that they've seen? Because like I say, I've kind of recused myself on the videos, but I'm going by what people have said.
The contested zones look pretty interesting. Look like they could be a place where if you're not prepared, you're gonna probably not do very well.
Mm. My salt. When I watched Salty Mike, he did say that.
Yeah.
And there's a 3D printer
Yeah.
in there.
Hmm.
That's right. I remember seeing that.
That's interesting.
So you have to
Mini manufacturing.
you have to fabricate uh, something to get to the next point.
Oh, right, the keys.
Yeah, with
That's
the
right. He was
key.
talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, the security keys and that. That's right.
E-card.
That's kind of cool. Okay, I gotta lie, that's pretty interesting. Um, when they do drop that, I'm gonna go and check out the contested zones. I want to go in there and see about them. Uh, Anybody got any other points on this particular area?
All I can say is I have such a hankering, and I'm sure almost everybody does, to explore something new. So I'm just really looking forward to this.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
All right. I'm gonna move on to the next subject, and that is the Zeus versus the C1. This has been a lot of controversy going on
It
now.
has. I
Okay.
was actually talking to. I watched the
Whoops.
video and Buddy was Shadow of History, is what it was called. He had made a video and he's going to killed the C1, but he was determining the ship by size, and I was like, you're looking at it all wrong. You got to determine this ship by cargo size, not ship size, because he was saying that the Zeus killed the C1, but it's not its closest competitor. Its closest competitor, cargo size, the C1 and the CB, the Cutlass Black. When you go by cargo size, the closest competitor to the Zeus is the Max, but the Max is also limited because they got that bulkhead in there that you can't get any SCU boxes through to get into that other cargo area now.
Yeah,
So
only small boxes. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. Now we know that the C1 is wider than the Zeus. Okay. Because the C1 has 8 engines, so she's pretty fast.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I don't
Now,
really see a comparison. I think they're two different ships, and maybe some of the reason why there's even a debate is because it was the loaner for these ships as they were being in concept. So
mm-hmm.
there's, the thought that this for that type of mentality, but I see it as a different class of ship altogether. I
Okay.
guess if you wanted to debate the pricing of it and those things, that would be one thing. But from a functionality perspective, the C1 is a 2-man ship and the Zeus is a 3+ ship.
Okay. Well, you've got a 25 buck difference on from the C1 to the Zeus. Okay. And where you said that you got a 2-man ship, less cargo, but you've got a 3-man ship, more cargo if you get the
Less
CL.
firepower.
Mm-hmm.
Well, less pilot controlled firepower in the Zeus, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
You can fly the Zeus from the gunner.
Mm-hmm.
Are you buying the Zeus for its cargo, or are you buying the Zeus for another purpose in game?
I bought it for its cargo capacity.
Well, there's two variants, Tone.
All the
There's
above.
Multi-purpose, man.
I
Daily
bought it
driver.
because I'm mad at the MSR. So that's
Oh.
all.
I bought it. As
don't
a
be
newer
mad at
player,
don't be mad at the MSR. I'm gonna get on you.
as a newer player into the game, the Zeus was the first concept that I could pledge that viably looked like it would be the first one to be released within my new player experience. So
Yeah, that's the same as
what
me.
led me
That's
towards
why I purchased it as well, because when they put it out in concept, it's like, okay, I'll purchase this in concept, and it was my first concept buy too, right? And to get it within a year, where all those other concept ships have really taken a long time to get into people's hands and stuff.
And
exactly.
counting, yeah.
And you get the C1 as the loner, and that was a great ship. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
it's a
Okay, when my first Citizen Con was the digital, and they dropped the CL in that one, or the C1. I'm sorry, and that was the very first one that I got in concept besides the Galaxy. And when it took a year, and you know what? It was worth the wait. It was worth the wait.
It was so far ahead of the other ships, the
Mm-hmm.
original ships, that it was just like, it was nice to see the progress that SIG was making on their ships. It wasn't just a facade of a ship, it was more thought into it.
Mm-hmm.
Which team built the C1? Does anybody know?
It wasn't Montreal. They weren't part of their. They weren't integrated into CIG at the time.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Because the Montreal team kicked the Zeus right out of the ballpark, man. They did a great job.
Well, they built the cutters,
Yeah,
Yep.
so
but they took it up a notch when they built the Zeus. That's all I gotta say.
okay.
Happy with it. I'm happy with it. I like you can see the missiles in the floor.
Yeah,
Lots of good details, yeah.
there's just so many details. The rubber matting on the floor,
You can even see the mechanisms to open up the rear gate
yeah.
with that glass right there. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like it.
Now,
Like I
go ahead.
no, like I said, it's everything. I'm not hating on the MSR.
Don't you hate on my ship? Don't you hate on my ship?
Axis.
What I wished for, it has everything that I wanted the MSR to have.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
That's what I'm saying.
But don't you hate on my ship?
No, I told you when I first got that ship, I'm like, yes, I like this ship. But
Yeah.
I
But
don't
it,
have that with the Zeus.
I'm
There's
gonna
a lot
say
of wasted
this.
space in the MSR.
A lot of
All the
ships, actually.
server area. That's really, and really, if you're doing data transport in the future, you don't need 2 rooms of servers.
Mm,
And having
to
3 access
haul
points to get in
data.
a ship.
You need one bank of hard drives. Like, come on.
well,
You're transporting data, not running a operation.
Game server. Yeah, you're not running
Yeah.
game servers. You're
Okay.
just transporting data.
but you got to remember when the MSR was first, pardon me, concepted, it was a much thinner ship. It wasn't
Yeah, it was
as fat. Okay,
Yeah,
the
it was
MSR
kinda like
is
the size
fat.
of the C1.
Yeah, the MSR is fat. Okay, she gained some weight from the concept. Okay, so as we know that things are going to evolve and change through the concept phase. like the CL, okay, the CL didn't have space for you to walk around to access your components.
Right.
They changed that during the during the gray box and white box, gray box, and final. So now you have access to walk around and access your components. So that was a big change because originally it wasn't there. So
Yeah, and I like the way you ain't gotta open up all those panels. One button opens up two panels. You
mm-hmm.
know,
Mm-hmm.
that's another nice thing. Look at Super.
The only reason why I want to get the Zeus at first is the historic value to it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's got good lore behind it. Yeah.
Yep, the
but
crow show when you did that jump.
but you know what would be cool is if you could get a skin or the actual ship of the original Zeus and
Yeah, that'd be cool.
and just have it and say I've got a piece of history, you know.
Yeah. How many people have one
Quite a few.
in the org? In this org?
Quite
Hmm.
a few.
Mm-hmm.
Man, we need to do a flyby.
Yeah, we will, but
That's an event. I'm putting it out there.
we're
Yeah.
gonna do it. We're gonna do it. What now? I've got some specs up of the three variants of the Zeus. Okay, go ahead. Say what you got to say, Sue.
I'm just laughing at myself for having all three.
Uh, Lord have mercy.
Hey, and
Not
there's
bad,
the
not
option.
bad.
There's the possibility of a four. The ST.
Right.
Remember they
Yeah.
gave us the
Yes, you're right.
short glimpse of that.
Uh,
And I'm wondering if that's like a speed demon or speed transport.
Yeah, we
You know
haven't
what
even
I'm
talked
saying? A racing version.
Hmm.
about the one with the quantum dampener. I forget the name.
the
Now.
MR.
The
Yeah,
MR.
the MR. Ooh.
It's hard to talk about that ship until you have it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, just having those capabilities
Mm-hmm.
Ah,
in the Zeus in the two Zeuses that we already have now, we already know it's just gonna be sweet.
Oh yeah. Well,
with what they're promising for future bounty hunting, that ship is going to be fantastic gameplay.
Can you
okay.
imagine a Zeus with indiction mode? Zeus has got his lightning now.
Mm. Well, look at it like this: when they dropped the concept, there was a racing variant that was out there really fast, and they pulled it. Remember? I don't know if you guys remember that.
Which
I
ship?
heard rumors.
On the Zeus, there was supposed to be like a racing variant or something like
That's what
that.
I'm wondering about the ST.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking it'll be like a oh, what am I thinking? The personal transport
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
versions that they're talking
mini
about. You know, moving people around.
mini Genesis. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I mean, there's several ships with what is it? The C. It's not a C1.
E1.
E1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's the same type of thing.
Well, the E1, uh,
I think that's a good thought.
in lore, the E1 was Kelly Kaplan's executive ship that she would fly around, or
Yeah,
they would
personal.
fly. It was her personal setup.
Yeah,
And when the E1 drops, it's going to have the gameplay loop. So that's why the ship is not even out yet. And if you look at the specs for the E1, it's a it's a two deck ship inside that frame. So it's gonna take a minute, I guess. I don't know. I have no idea where anything has been done on the E1. They haven't said anything about it. But with this ST that they're saying something about, I do think that's going to be a transport ship, but it's got to have a game loop. What's up, Tex?
Not much, guys.
Um,
Hey, Tex.
Hey,
So I'm gonna switch over to the C1 specs. Okay, we got the A1. We got the here's the E1, and this is the one that is still in concept. It is not ready for flight yet, but it is the one that has the deck, the split deck.
Does look a
So,
little taller.
hmm compared to the C1 is a little bit thinner in, a little bit smaller. Then you've got your A1, which has the bombs and stuff like that. So,
I have that one.
but it all depends on which. The C1 is the one that's most useful in game right now.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah,
but
you don't
as
see people owning the A1s at all, hardly.
no, unless there is a jump town or something like that.
Yeah.
So that's really. But they did say that they're going to be bombing missions in game where you actually have to do precision bombing or stuff like that. So then your A1 is going to be more viable and more useful. They're just not there yet. Anybody got any thoughts about the Zeus versus the C1 or anything like that?
Just the
Just that
access
I like them
points are
both.
my favorite thing.
Yes, sir. I second that.
Say again, the access?
That's probably my favorite is the 3 points of access on the Zeuses.
Mm-hmm.
mm-hmm.
I agree. I love the C1. Don't get me wrong. I love that ship, but it needs more than all Crusader ships, as far as I'm concerned, except for the C2s and stuff like that, need more than one entrance.
Mm-hmm.
The MSR, love her to death, as Thunderstar, but she needs more than just one access point.
Yeah.
You know what other ship has 3 access
I'm
points?
not even gonna say it because I already know which one it is. Okay? We already know. We already know. I know you're just gonna say it.
The
Technically
Corsair.
four, counting the hat.
Yeah,
Right.
Corsair.
The
The
Corsair.
Corsair, yeah, the Corsair.
Okay, I'm gonna do this right now. All right. So, anybody else got any comments about the Zeus? What? How much? I know we all love the ship. We all love it. It was something that we waited for, and like Road Rash said, the Montreal team knocked this out of the park.
Yeah. As long as they don't nerf it anyway, we're good.
Gortok.
Come on now. There's
We
not. Oh, what would you nerf?
right.
I mean, what? Really?
It flies. Like, oh, it doesn't
Yes.
ever fly.
Yes.
It's like you're in a fighter.
It's
Yeah.
smooth. Yeah, it's a medium fighter.
It rolls well.
We
I
were
hope for
waiting.
the
Good.
functionality
Great in
from
atmosphere.
from the Zeus, like the ability to control the ship from the co-pilot. I hope that trickles over to the other ships that have co-pilots now. That
Yeah.
ability will be.
I like
That's
that
a- that's a
function,
great
but right now I think what they should do is there should be a master and a slave kind of thing. So the you need to flick a switch to get from one seat to the other. So say the pilot's flying, and then he can flick a switch and give the controls to the co-pilot while he gets out of the seat to go do something or check on something or something like that. Because
Take a drink.
yeah, there seems to be some bug or so right now, like what you guys were experiencing last night when one person was flying, then the other person then couldn't get out of the seat or anything like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's got to be, there might be some bugginess in there. And then, of course, the other thing that's going on with the Zeus I haven't seen any or heard any of the other ships is when all of a sudden we've got no control of our flight sticks unless you put it into a different mode, and then all of a sudden now your flight sticks are working and your keyboard and mouse is working again. You put it back in the other mode and you just can't do nothing, right? You have to basically bed log and then log back into it, and then you got full control of your ship again, right? Now I don't know if that's going on with other ships or not, or if that's just the Zeus when you just all of a sudden lose all control of your controls.
Yeah.
Change the fuse. I'm kidding.
Well, there's one thing that we didn't talk about this, and Everett did a in-depth thing. Excuse me. With the crafting of fuses, and he took out the vulture. And how many did you make, Everett? 28.
I did a mission for 1,000 to do an Averill arrow, and then after I salvaged it all, I got one box of SRC, and the rest was construction materials. And then I went into the crafting station, and I got 28 fuses, two 3-pack, the containers for the rifle gun, and then I had 2 single tubes for the multi-tool repair area. So that's all I got out of that. It took both the RMC and the construction materials to make all that.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. So they've added more crafting. You can make more stuff now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can make fuses.
Nice.
You could stockpile fuses and then sell them to somebody
Yeah.
who might be stranded, or do a
Well,
lot
that's
of
what I
things.
was thinking. Just stockpile them into smaller containers, and
Help put them on a box.
yeah, and then
I'm
that way
glad-
you can always.
I'm glad
have
they
some
changed the fuel cost, because if you factored in, it cost me 86,000 for quantum fuel to get to the station and to
Right.
do the work, and then the hydrogen fuel was like 600. Each one of those fuses, if you put it all together, is just over 3,100 just for that one fuse. And I said, nah, you got to get those fuel things looked after, and then I can factor that out, because you can't ignore the fuel costs to get to the job site.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they had the same or similar issue with the guns, the tractor beam attachments, and the guns for them when they first came out with the reclaimer. It was an entire SCU crate to create one part, and now it's like an eighth of that.
Yeah, it took 0.3 of the. When you looked at your Crafton hopper, it told you how much you had available. It took 3 units of that to make the fuse.
Okay.
So you had, let's say, 85 for in the hopper, and then when you crafted a fuse, it dropped down to 82.
All right. Well, here's a stupid question: can you buy them in game?
Not yet.
Not yet.
You can't use them in game either.
No.
Yeah. That's coming. That's a feature that's coming with 4.0.
Yeah, in the PTU currently, you can take the fuse out of your ship. I think it blocks it actually, but it's not something that you can buy and replace. In the CL, I think it has 2 fuse stations, and one of them is occupied.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if you take it out, it doesn't have any impact right now. But in Arena Commander, you can, when they have the engineering available, you could do that. You could take the fuse out, and then that would disable like the doors to a certain part of the ship. You could put it into another one, and that would disable the power. Pretty interesting stuff.
Okay. Anybody else got anything on that particular subject? Because that's coming, and we're going to have to deal with batteries and all that stuff too. It's going to be a big one. And engineering gameplay, I have barely touched it at all because it's in Arena Commander and you can play around with it and go in there, but you kind of need two people, at least three, to do it because it's on an A2, and to do the engineering gameplay, it's a puzzle from what I saw. So it's going to be interesting to check out when it does come.
Worried about the fire. That's what I'm worried about.
Oh, that's another thing. Uh, Things breaking
Almost all the
down.
ships having a fire extinguisher is pretty neat. That was a good,
Yeah, it's good to
uh,
see that.
you
Yeah.
know, s- kind
Well,
of seeing that adds promise that this is a feature coming pretty quick.
yeah,
Yeah.
but the thing of it is, and we've all talked about this, and I think that this is a very valid point. When you first get in a ship, I we don't want to spend a whole lot of time fixing it and putting out fires the first thing we get. You know what I'm saying?
Especially when you load it in from the hangar, it's damaged.
I mean, from the first get go, where that's going to take over most of the stuff that you're doing, putting out fires and fixing the ship all the time.
Instead of being able to enjoy flying and
Yeah.
I
defending
could
or
see like an
fighting.
expanded tutorial where you go on a mission and your ship catches fire and you have to put it out eventually. Okay.
Well, I just hope they don't do it every time you pull a ship out, but it seems like that you might want to do some preventative maintenance before you leave your hangar by checking your monitor and check all your relays and components and stuff and make sure everything's doing what it's supposed to do before you fire up and leave and go out on your mission, right? And
Does
that's
anyone
almost
know
kind of
if
like the real thing with an airplane or anything. You do a walk around, you check all your rudders and tires and flaps and make sure everything all works before you fire up and go, right? So
Mm-hmm.
Does anyone know if the fire extinguishers will have like a level that'll be limited and you'll have to refill it?
It has to
probably.
recharge.
Yeah.
Oh,
Now I
okay, yeah.
noticed, was it yesterday or whatnot, when I was in my base hangar, I seen a spot for a fire extinguisher to go to. There was no fire extinguisher in that spot, but it did say on it recharging. So it might be a recharging station to put your fire extinguisher into inside your home base in your hangar there to recharge your fire extinguishers and then bring them back and put them on your ship.
Interesting.
So yeah,
Well,
next
Oh, that's
time you're
neat.
in your hangar, look for that. It's basically right beside your kiosk, and you'll see a little spot.
Yeah.
There's no fire extinguisher in it, but it does say recharging on it.
They'll sell them in the store so you can have extras.
Miss Peaches has brought up a good point. If our ships catch fire, and we all have to EVA out in space, they need to make a rescue markers better to find people. Agreed.
Agreed.
Big
But you
time.
can also, if your ship catches on fire, they're saying you can shut off your oxygen and life support systems and evacuate all that stuff out of the ship so that the fire will go out. Fire needs oxygen, so
As far as rescue markers, I think they hinted at what they're getting at. They gave us a while back those medical markers, right? That you could keep on your person.
Mm-hmm.
oh yes, that red one, that the medical beacon.
Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure we'll
Oh
see
yeah, I
that
forgot
coming
about that. Yeah,
into
that'd be
play where
nice.
you have to keep one of those on your character
Mm-hmm.
or in the escape pods if those ever get into play.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like a life raft, huh? You escape out of your
Mm-hmm.
ship, have a little life raft out there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well,
Can you
Sentiment.
store stuff in an escape pod?
I don't know.
Like
Mm.
drinks and food?
Not currently.
I mean, the escape pods don't work. When
No,
they,
I know, but I mean,
yeah, but
would that be a thing?
could be.
Could be on my ship if it was allowed.
Yeah, you know?
As much as I get shot down.
Well, when they bring out the passenger ships, you're gonna have life pods because they eject over a planet or in space. You get to go and pick them up.
Yeah, you
True.
would think that the pod would have the ability to be like a suit locker almost and have an armor setup for you to change into. Because remember, you're going to be in your ship without a suit or without your armor on, and if
When that
Yeah.
comes,
But
yeah.
then you're going to have to run into your escape pod, and then you don't want to be in a pilot suit.
You
You
see
want
a
to
new
be
Hearst ship coming to pick up escape pods.
Well,
or
well, look at it like this. Eventually, we're not going to be able to wear backpacks or weapons
Exactly.
getting into the seat.
You need to put all that stuff into your racks and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Are you landing shaved? If you look underneath the Zeus, I swear I've seen a spot on there that says escapes pod underneath the ship.
Hey,
I'll
Drop
have to
Yeah.
Hammer.
look when we get down.
Which ship looks so good? The C1 or the Zeus?
I like them both.
I
Yeah,
love them both.
both are good.
Like I say, the people that are trying to compare the ships, there's really no comparison because one is in a specific area and another is in a specific area. You just have to choose which one you're going to use. If you're starting out and you want to use your C1 to do light cargo, you can. If you want to go into the CL and carry more cargo, you can. So all this comparison really doesn't fit as far as I'm concerned. Welcome,
That's
so if
Ty.
we're
what
focused
I
on the
gotta do.
Zeus,
Yeah,
what's everyone's
Hey everybody,
opinion on
sorry
the?
I'm so late.
you're
There's
fine.
Ty.
Welcome back.
Welcome. I was going to ask real quick what everyone's opinion is on the paints for the Zeus.
Oh, I love the
Okay.
stone, that blue and yellow.
I-
Oh, yeah.
I kind of the solstice paint
I love that.
is reminiscent of the Olympia paint for the C1.
Mm-hmm.
It's got some gold highlights and it's got the darker gray colors. I think the ES stock paint is attractive, but I like dark paints.
I love the white and I love the black one. Not gonna lie, uh, they're awesome. I think the solstice you can't get anymore in the store. You can only get it through Star Hanger now. You can't get it. You can't get it in the RSI website because it was exclusive to the concept drop of that ship. I
Yeah, I
do.
like them.
I do
I like
like.
the Halloween one's kind of growing on me.
Here we go.
I love the Halloween one.
Where's Joker? Because you know Joker's
Honestly,
all over that one.
No,
if you don't,
zero will say that.
if you don't like the purple and green paint, you're just wrong.
I guess I am
Yes,
then.
yes, I'll second that one, Ty. Something's wrong.
Okay. The spirit, of course.
It's like not liking the Cuddy Black. I just don't understand.
Oh! Here we go. Here we go. I'm sorry. I gotta get him.
Right there, right there. You look up.
Wow.
Thought that wasn't me for a
There
change.
it is. I see escape pod right there to your left.
I do like the cockpit design of Zeus. I was afraid it would have a ton of beams in the
Interesting.
windows.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people were afraid of that because
One,
of
two.
the constellation, Connies, the constellations. But
There's only two.
Yeah.
they fixed that.
Oh wait,
The spirit is a beautiful ship.
It's got a
Gotta be
wider
up
wing
front.
base too.
Shade.
Oh yes, it's much wider.
what's that?
It's got to be up front, Shade.
I think it's the beds. I think it's the beds that'll turn into the escape pods. Because
No.
that should be where the beds are.
No.
Go-
The Zeus?
Sides.
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
Zeus. Because underneath it says escape pods, right?
Why is there
Yeah.
only two? Somebody's getting left.
There it is.
No, okay. So what
wonder if
what I
there's one
think
on
it is,
top.
I'm 90% sure it is that those bunks are the escape pods. They eject
Yeah.
out the bottom. So there's only two because the two bunks on the left go out the same hole at the same time.
Oh,
Yep,
gotcha,
yep,
gotcha.
yep.
I say on
Because
the left, depends on what
now
side
go
you're
to
looking
the
at.
if
Yeah.
you go
Yeah,
to
yeah.
the bed, it does have a little screen inside the bed that you look at
Yeah.
as well,
Yeah.
Yeah,
right?
that's for lights and logging
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, so that also might be
Get the bed.
what'll control the escape pod right up there.
Yeah.
if they become escape pods in the future.
It's like a news ticker
Yeah.
and a
Yeah.
light switch.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, so that'll probably turn into a life support system and
And
stuff for an escape pod.
emergency override. Now, when you hit that, all the lights flash red. I don't know what else happens.
Right.
Yeah. The
Um,
other ones dim.
gives you hope for the
Yeah,
Apollo.
auxiliary
The
is the
Apollo
red
is going to
lights out.
be the Apollo is going to be a great ship. It is going to be an awesome ship. It's just got to have its modularity.
Now, where's the lights for the room? You'd
Should
think
be-
it'd be on that door panel there, but it's not.
Yeah,
Yep.
it is.
There are no switch for the lights in the room.
Yeah, this one turns it off
So
when
to
it works. I've done it. There it goes.
to be
Oh, okay.
oh, you found
I'm
it?
good with that. Yep. It's the
Okay.
little orange one right under the door button.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was looking for it last night.
Now, what are those right there, Shay?
Those are shoe lockers.
Those are the lockers. And that's your external inventory. For those
Uh,
that have wait a minute, go ahead.
The lockers in the hab
Yeah, that's your external.
are your ship's inventory,
Right.
and there's 3 of them there.
So I mean, and we've all faced this since they've changed the inventory on the ship. Some of them are hard to find.
Some of them are non-existent right now.
Yeah.
Paint job on
Like
this.
the Carrick. The Carrick, it's non-existent, but I could find anywhere.
Who
I
needs a
look
paint job on what, Mr. Zero? But anyway, there are some ships now. The C2, you know, the external inventory is up on the top deck. You know where it is now.
Just outside the elevator.
Mm-hmm. Other
Right.
other ships.
Beauty.
Other ships have some don't have it, you can't find it. So this is where the gold pass is going to come in, and a lot of ships are going to be reworked.
Shadow, do you know if the missiles on the Zeus can be swapped out?
Yes.
Really?
If you go to Urkel, you can put rattlers on that ship.
I
Yeah,
saw that.
I've done
I
it.
bought 4 of them. I tried to do it. It wouldn't work.
But they might
Doesn't
If
show
it's-
up.
You have to take all of them off of one missile rack, and then you can change them out.
Oh, okay. So I can't put 2 and 2 on each side.
No, you can't mix missile types on a single rack.
Okay.
Now, on other ships, if you just take the whole missile rack off, that's the quick way to do it. But with this bespoke missile rack, kind of like the Constellation, which is a real pain because it's got
Who said
2.
Miss Zero? I said Mr. Zero. Let's get that straight, Miss Peaches.
Anyway, yeah, you gotta go painstakingly through and unequip each missile.
Okay.
Which is silly because if you unequip one, it should unequip all missiles.
Yeah.
And
That's
then
the way
when
you
you
have
equip
to do
one,
it,
you
yeah.
equip all missiles. Because if there's no sense in, I mean, unless you just want to maybe save on missiles and not go with a full loadout, but that's the only time I can think of when you'd want to unequip or equip one by one. But
Okay.
All right. So I can put these on
Right
one
back.
side. I can put the rattlers on one side and the Dom 2s on the other, right?
You're correct.
Cool. That's what I'll do.
Has anybody seen the? I got the one reason I want to bring this up is has anybody seen the patch notes for the Evocati playtest?
Yes.
No.
No.
I haven't seen them. All I see. Oh,
I was mistaken.
I saw the patch news, but I didn't see the actual patch notes.
Not for the most recent playtest, but just the mesh test that came out with some notes, but that was it.
No, there was.
Yeah,
Which
it's the one that came out 3:35 yesterday. Hello, avocados.
Yeah.
Was the patch notes
Okay.
for the Evocati test.
Okay. So, has anybody got any more about the Zeus, the C1 comparisons, anything like that?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna
Other
get.
than it's the greatest ship in the game now.
Amen.
No.
Here it comes. Here it comes. You
No.
opened up the can of worms.
Don't go there, please.
Right?
Everybody knows the greatest ship in the game is the Cutter.
Uh,
It's a pretty
you,
good ship, but
you almost got the hit because I thought you were about to say something else. But anyway.
I thought you were going to say Cutty
Nah, I'll
Block.
give
Oh no. Guys, you gotta stop.
I didn't want to wear
Hurting
out
my
the
ears,
joke.
man.
I'll let you do that for me, I guess.
Okay. If there's no more stuff on this particular subject, I'm going to give it to Space Guy Ty and the Evocati 4.0 playtest. It's all yours, sir.
Thank you, sir. Well, first off, I think probably everybody, just with all the leaks and all the streamers that have access to Evo putting stuff out, I'm not sure that there's much to report that people don't already know. It was reasonably stable, especially for a first pass on an Evocati build. I mean, I was surprised at how stable it was. Still had a lot of server errors, no 30Ks. The jump point testing did not go very well for me. I wasn't the only one. A lot of times it was like when you enter the jump point, first off, very often it did it uncommanded. I didn't do anything, and I got
Yeah,
sucked
you
into
said
the
you
jump
pulled up to it and it sucked you in.
Yeah, and I mean it went through the transitions. I could see the text, which is just placeholder text, across the screen, giving me the stages. But there's a point where you are, and ATC wasn't in this build, so those first stages of getting it ready are supposed to be automatic. But there's a point where you are supposed to activate the jump, and I didn't do anything. Yeah. I didn't do well. There was no ATC, so it was really just if you get up close to it with your nav drive on, it will automatically just go through the stages, and then you activate the jump point at the end. That's how it's supposed to work, as far as I know. However, every time I went up to it, I could activate it. Or if I just hung out there, it would activate on its own, which I don't think it was supposed to. Also, as soon as I went in, there was a ton of lag, frame rate drops. By the time I got my frames back, I would be at the edge and hurtling outside the jump point. And we're talking maybe 1 second, right, from the time my frame rate started to drop to the time I got visuals back. And I could not fight it with the controls. Just could not do it. And I always ended up way outside the jump point. It was like it was just flinging me anywhere it wanted to. Always kind of in the same area visually, right? I could see the station. I could see the wormhole from like some weird outside area, but I was in interspace, and it was obviously not intended. And as soon as it should have failed me, right? It should have kicked you out of the jump point when you go outside the walls. That's how it's supposed to work. It didn't. I had to manually go back into SCM mode. Of course, turning off your quantum drive, fails the jump, kicks you out, and the fail area could be I was everywhere from. I never got up. Like if Microtech is in the northeast, right, the standard view of the system, I never got up in the northern half. But I was southwest of Mike L3, way off in that bottom left corner. I was off east, or southwest, yeah. I was off east of, what is that, Crew L3? Way out on the eastern edge, like, and other places in between. Like, it throws you, and then you gotta find a place where you can get gas.
Wow.
To get back to the jump point. So it was like, do that, then go to the nearest space station, get gas, and go back to the Pyro Gateway, and then try again. And also the fail exits were constantly like it didn't change every time someone exited. It was like for a period of time, everybody would exit at the same spot. So I would exit, and there would be 2 or 3 ships right there, danger close. Sometimes none. One time I got out and I wasn't thinking, and I should have immediately just put on the power to get out of that area because I knew it, but I didn't. I was trying to find a place to get gas, sitting still, and before I knew it, somebody did a fail exit and just not ran into me, literally spawned in the same spot that I was in. Like they just spawned and I exploded. I don't know about them.
I do have a question. So,
Yeah.
do you think now you were taking Gertrude, the cutter?
Yes.
Do you think that having a larger ship would compensate?
I don't know. I know that there were people with Zeus's that were making it through. There were people with all sizes of ships trying to get through. Some would fail, some would not. I couldn't get a real good, comprehensive idea of whether ship size had something to do with it. Maybe if I go into the issue council, which I haven't had a chance to today, I got real busy. Maybe then I could maybe ascertain. But honestly, by the time I do that, they're probably gonna have it fixed. Like it's probably gonna be fixed in the next couple of patches.
Everett's got a question. How much
Yeah.
QT fuel does the normal jump take at the wormhole?
I do not know. I
for the
was never
cutter.
able to complete. I do not know. I was never able to complete a normal jump, and I wasn't watching during the failed attempts. I was really just concentrating on trying to get a full jump under my belt.
I'll be right back. Go ahead.
I was gonna say the last video that Buddy did that was posted there in the tracker. Buddy was coming back from Pyro to Stanton, and he was flying an eclipse through there, and you could hear all kinds of warnings going off inside his ship, and that dink dink sound that when you leave your ship and you go out onto the cold planet and you hear that audible sound in your helmet, that dink dink to tell you that it's cold out, and then you could just hear that sound over and over and over again with a lot of alarms going off inside his ship as he was flying through the wormhole from Pyro back to Stanton.
Yeah, they have done a lot of work with visuals and sound to make this a tense experience, right? And good, like I want it to be. Now, of course, they'll probably dial in the feeling based on feedback, right? Maybe make it more tense, less tense, whatever. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff that they do.
From a display info perspective, was there any kind of interesting updates there? Could you like see yourself jumping across the servers or any of that?
No. When I activated a jump point, I was all eyes and hands on the controls and my HUD. I was not watching display info. I had it up, but I was not looking at those numbers.
So did you set your spawn in Pyro?
I did once, right? The first time I set my spawn in Pyro at Starlight Station, there was an issue at Starlight Station where your hangar would despawn underneath you and leave you stranded inside the station geometry. I saw a whole bunch of people having that problem with chat. I had it in the small and medium hangars, which are the ones I had access to. I can't speak for the large and extra large, but I'm pretty sure that Starlight was just broken. So I deleted and recopied over to Stanton because I knew Stanton side places worked except Area 18 because that was in the patch notes. Something was wrong with it. So I just set my spawn to Lorville, and from then on, that's all I tried to do was just try to get a good jump.
When you made your jump and then you got thrown out in your cutter,
I didn't
how
get
much
thrown
fuel-
out. I literally had to cut. Yeah, I really had to cut. I had to manually go to SCM mode.
Okay, well, when you did that, then you said you needed gas. How much fuel was used?
That's
All of it?
difficult to say because something was wrong at Pyro Gateway. I could never fill up at Pyro Gateway.
Okay.
Which means that I didn't have a full tank, and every time I got kicked out, I get kicked out somewhere else. So I'd go to the nearest place and get gas, and then go to Pyro Gateway and try again. The problem is that means that when I got to Pyro Gateway, each time I had different levels of fuel each time, and I wasn't really tracking it very well. So as far as how much fuel it takes to get across the jump gate, I mean, not a whole lot, because there was one time I went from Mike L3 all the way to Pyro Gateway. Attempted the jump, failed it, ended up way out at like Crew L3 or
Wow.
Michael, maybe it was like a Michael 1 or Michael 2 on the east side of the system. Right, and so basically that trip was from Mike L3 to Pyro Gateway, kicked out of the jump, and then from way out the east side of the system to like whatever that station is at Mike L1 or L2 right there at the east side.
That's
Not
fair.
L1 or L2, L4 or L5. Mike L4 or L5. I can't remember.
Mike L4 is way past Crusader, and Mike L5 is over by Hurston.
Okay, Mike L5 was where I came out, and then I got all the way to Mike L5 to get gas. But I
Okay.
couldn't go anywhere else, right?
Okay.
So it's not using a huge amount of fuel, or I would have been stranded. After making the trip all the way from Mike L3, and then still being able to get to Mike L5, you said? It's not using a whole lot of quantum fuel.
We got a question by Drophammer.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No. 4.0 PTU day 1 of SitCon? No.
Doubtful. Highly doubtful. I mean,
Yeah,
I know
they've
they're
only-
hard at work 7 days a week, but
We're less than a week away from SitCon, and they haven't even dropped point 2 live yet. So
No. Mm-mm. Okay, anybody else got any other questions for Ty on the Evocati test for 4.0? Nope. Jiggy?
Yeah, maybe just one other question. Could you jump, or did you know of anyone jumping a multi-crewed ship, like riding along, or was it all solo pilots?
oh no, there were lots of people that jumped to all sorts of different sizes of ship. Of course, the Zeus is real popular, so lots of people were jumping Zeuses through. As far as whether or not it was successful seemed to be kind of a toss-up. I couldn't. There's probably on the issue council a whole bunch of people that have reported what kind of ship, and that data can be collated. But DIG will collate it, and by the time you guys see it, it's not going to be a problem anymore. By the time it gets to wave 1, wave 2, it's going to be a non-issue. So I wouldn't worry too much about that.
I was just curious if like 2 people were in a ship and they exited out, if one person maybe was in space or something, kind of wonky. But I'm just more curious on that passenger kind of experience through the jump gate as opposed to the pilot.
I didn't catch a whiff of that in the chat. I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible at CIG. I didn't catch a whiff of that in the chat. I do know that anything like a ship is an object container, and the jump point doesn't transport the things inside the object container. It transports the object container, and so everything that's inside the object container gets transported with it. So the server, like if you look at a graph database, you've got the one link from, say, the jump point area to the ship, and then the ship has the links to the people and the items inside it. So all it does is move that link from Stanton space to Pyro space, and all the processes that go along with it. So
pass the container over. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it passes the container over as a whole. Now, I'm not saying it's impossible for people to get yeeted out in a weird way, because it's CIG, but I didn't catch a whiff of it, and I don't think it's going to be a problem.
Okay.
Well, there was a
next to the wall on the mole. Get yeeted out.
Mm-hmm. Or when you offer a beverage.
Yeah. I
I've
could
been
see it
yeeted out of the
happening if,
pilot
like,
seat.
Yeah, I could see it happening if, like, for some reason, certain parts of the ship actually have you exited, on the outside of the object container, as a bug. I mean, you see similar things like when you take the Connie elevator down. From your perspective, you're still inside the Connie, not the personnel, but the cargo elevator. Like, from your perspective, you're still inside the ship, right, if you're standing on the cargo elevator. But if you'll notice, it says you've left the audio channel, which means you've left that object container.
Right.
So I don't think you could ride in a lowered Constellation freight elevator to a jump point.
Everett, if you drink while you're going through the jump point, you'll get nauseous and throw up.
No. The reason why I made that comment is that when I was doing quantum drive with Chiggy, I turned around and got out of my seat, went back to him, and said, "Hey, would you like a beverage while you're having your ride?" He took the beverage and poof, gone out the ship.
It's pretty funny.
Comment from the chat. I imagine, Drophammer, I imagine fuel prices will be expensive at the Stanton to Pyro jump point stations. Good.
I don't foresee capitalism in game like that where they're going to jack the price up because you got to jump to the other side. Now, when you're on the other side, I can see fuel prices being a little more expensive than they are on the Stanton side. But I can't see it being like when you go to the gas station and everybody's having those price wars and whatnot. And a certain time of year, I'm going to jack up the price because I'm the only gas station in town. I don't see that.
No, once
I
they,
can see it on
once
the
they
Pyro
start
side.
working on the economy, they might.
They might.
They might.
Well, the economy should work as a pure supply and demand thing, right? So maybe the Pyro side is a little bit more expensive on the Stanton side than on.
Well, you got to remember now. Once we get the two systems, the economy is going to change. It's going to balance a certain way. Pyro doesn't have the resources that Stanton does.
I mean, that's true, but at the same time, two systems is not enough to have a dynamic, kind of automated economy, right? They're still having to just kind of manipulate it by hand.
Well,
we need
agreed.
But we need like 5 systems for that to all be automatic. So I don't think we'll see.
But
it'll basically be what CIG wants it to be at this point.
Yeah, but one system having an economy, there's no way to balance it. You know what I'm saying? You can't even it out. With the two, it's going to make a difference. That's what I'm saying. It's not going to be perfect, but there is going to be a difference. Okay. Progress. This is a question that I wanted to ask Everett
real quick.
and Chiggy and Tone.
Real quick, Shadow. I'm sorry to interrupt. But
go ahead.
If anybody has any more questions or wants anything to know, I mean, I've got forum post now on your Discord.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So feel free to pop your question in there. Read the notes and instructions to make it a lot easier for me to answer your questions and for you to get those answers. But yeah, absolutely.
Kitai?
Okay, so 3 people that have been in the game longer than most of us. Tone, Chiggy, and Everett. This is something that Chiggy, I know, has been waiting for a long, long time. So, progress. Are you pleased with what you're seeing right now?
At this moment in time, yes.
Everett?
I concur.
Tone?
I'm good with it.
Well, I mean, how long have you been playing the game, Tone? How long? To be
since 19.
Okay.
Full time.
Okay. So, I mean, for the years that I know Chiggy has been in since 2013.
I heard about it when it was a Kickstarter.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I had one. I started in 12, and then kind of lost interest and kind of got into other things, and then
Opened another account in 13. So I've been here a long time.
Yeah. Are you? I mean, with what you've seen within this past year alone, not counting all the other years, but this past year, the
In the last
progress.
few months, um, yeah, in the last 30 days, in the last well, let's just say 2 to 3 weeks, I've noticed a lot of stuff happening, and I think that's because they're under the gun and they know if they don't pull something off, you know, um, they're gonna be losing some. They may well. There's going to be a lot of people looking to other games and spending their time other places,
Mm-hmm.
and they know it,
Mm-hmm.
and they're feeling it.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, in the last month or so, or whatever, the amount of gamers that have been in the game playing whatever it is we're trying to play has dropped off considerably,
Mm-hmm.
and they know that if they want this to succeed, they got to jump on the ball. So, and I like what I'm seeing right now. They're under the gun, and they know that they need to get some stuff done. And yeah,
Okay.
it makes me happy when they sweat.
I
Tone.
think the persistent hangers really put them behind the ball, though, on their timing to get everything out for 4.0.
Yeah.
Because that long time with our persistent hangers and the cargo elevators that were supposed to be back a few patches ago. And I think that was a big setback that they weren't expecting, and that's why it's taken as long as it's taken. But they're slowly getting there now.
Well, it was supposed to be in 23, and the freight elevator was supposed to be in 23, where we get our vehicles on the freight elevator. They had an issue, and they said that we're not going to put this out with this issue. And then we went to 24. They changed the number. They went to 24, and the PTU on 24 was long. But I'm going to say this, and we all know this, that 318 started in December and didn't end, the PTU didn't end until March. That was a long PTU. Okay? So, compared to that, and we all know what happened on the launch of 318, compared to that, compared 318 to 24, I think the launch went a whole lot smoother. There was still some issues that did occur during 24, but it was a whole lot better than the unmentionable. I think we all can agree on that.
Oh yeah.
I think it's nice to see them going in a consistent direction instead of adding crap to the game just for the sake of it being in the game.
I think to Chiggy's point, they have access to user data that shows accounts that are older aren't connecting, or if they do, they only connect to look, and then they're not coming back because of whatever reason. And
Well, there's a
Yeah.
lot of accounts that will connect, and they said, "I want to finish game," and they won't connect until it gets to a certain point.
Yeah, well, those are the types of reports that like high level executives run to to gauge how well they're doing. And to his point, they're not coming back still, so we'll see.
Okay.
Shadow,
Yeah. Go ahead.
have we got time for a little compare and contrast on 318 and 24?
Sure. Give me 1 second.
Yep.
Tribunal says, "Where the hell is unique item recovery? I want to wear my special armor." Okay,
There you go.
here we
Oh my
go.
gosh.
Here we go with the drawer. This is the drawer
Man, I
issue.
want my drawer.
We
Out
had
of
it
my
for a
drawer.
second.
This is the drawer issue. Um, CIG took out the drawer because the item recovery was supposed to hit that, and it wasn't working, and there was a lot of issues with it, and there was a lot of spectrum on that, and they took it out. They said that they wanted to polish it and get it working better before they put that in. So that's why we don't have it yet. And they did state later, I think it was Benoit who said that they were working on that and they're discussing it and they're trying to get it figured out. So we should hear something during CitizenCon. We should. I don't know. I'm speculating, but that's what's going on with that. Okay.
You heard it here first, folks. We'll see it at CitizenCon.
Speculation. But Benoit did say that they did say something about it a while ago that they were going to talk about it during CitizenCon. But Benoit said that they were going to work on it and figure it out, and eventually it's going to come back, but we don't know when. So, Ty, it is on you with the comparison. Go for it.
Well, this is just, if you look at these things, it kind of gives you hope, right? 318 was like 24 separate services they had to put together and make work for persistent entity streaming. This was necessary for server meshing, right? And it went horribly. I mean, granted, R&D is often a train wreck, but this was a very highly public train wreck. The things that came out of that directly were the tech preview, where they could test out the functionality of new systems, open it up to all backers, get people in there, test it at concurrency at least for a short time. And the fact that when 318 came out, it was the first version to use the 318 codebase. So they tested it at concurrency when it went live, right? That was the first time they had the kind of concurrency where it just could not cope. This time, not only do we have the tech preview to do the server meshing tests on beforehand, but they're running the 4.0 codebase on 24.2. Right, so it might not be complete with server meshing, but there is a lot of stuff in the 24 codebase that they are getting proven out and tested. So, I mean, yeah, lessons learned, procedures have changed. It's just a good sign to me.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Tone, you got anything to add on that?
I just remember a whole lot of wipes and a whole lot of effort spent on recouping lost skill, rep, and money.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad not to see that. I mean, I can understand the little things like drinks and other things going away, the consumables, but losing your rep and losing your monetary is
it's devastating.
Yeah, say that, but I really don't. I know I'm in the minority. I understand. I'm in the minority. I liked having to do the 0 to hero thing every patch, but that's me.
Well,
some people, when that happens, their thought is, "Why am I here?"
Mm-hmm.
I understand it. Yeah, I'm not contradicting anyone's point of view. I understand it. That's just mine.
Yeah.
For me, it's the other way. It's like once I get to the top, I'm just like, why am I here? Like, right. I've got an 890 jump and a reclaimer and most everything else. It's like, well, what am I working towards now?
And I think that's why they're pushing so hard on MMO too, is because like that is a type of game loop that doesn't necessarily get old. It can always stay fluid and transform into something else.
Well, we know, and this is CIG stating that they're trying not to wipe. They're trying not to. The database has to be really, really screwed up and corrupted for it to do a full clean wipe. Okay.
Sometimes that's just got to happen.
Well, when the game goes live, when it goes live, okay, all the drinks and all that stuff and everything that you have is not going to be wiped when the game goes live, goes gold. We're not supposed to have any wipes at all. So what they're doing now, and I agree, Gortok is is the one person that says, "Here we go again. We gotta go buy ammo. We gotta go get this and stuff like that." I mean,
Drinks, food,
and we,
every time.
yeah, we all feel that. We all feel that.
And I mean, how long does that take, right? You go to a quick trip to Cubby Blast, and you can get food, drinks, even med pens,
It doesn't
ammo.
take
You
long.
can hold on to my 46 tractor beam attachments. You can hold on to my 25 magazines of P4AR.
I'm not gonna deny that because in live I have so many attachments. I have so many things like that.
Med guns and refills. And,
Yeah,
Well, not the refills. The refills are consumables.
yeah. The refills are gone.
you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
what you're talking about. But I mean, eventually that's not gonna go away. Okay.
Yeah, they've already stated,
Mm-hmm.
a few months back that that's working on keeping consumables is one of the things that they're working towards. It's not high priority, to be honest, because it is such a minor inconvenience to have to get those things back. But it is something that they're working towards.
Okay. I did a test in 22. I bought some of the large containers, and they were talking about they're trying to get those to persist. Okay, so I bought like 3 or 4 of them, put some gear in it, right, and took them to my local inventory and let them sit. Right, come 23, they were gone, but I had the gear. When they changed everything in 24, every box that I bought, right, uh, that I bought in 23 build, when we swapped over to 24, all of my boxes were there. So they finally persisted, and that was huge. So
Spent
hopefully,
a 30K.
you in PTU?
Yeah,
Okay,
maybe they got a.
they're working on the build.
Yeah,
I couldn't load any of the ships, so
Yeah, they're working on the new build.
They're not stopping services, are they?
No, because nothing's come up in the SC tracker yet.
No.
doesn't show anything on the status. Launch.
Nothing in testing chat right now related to that.
Okay, but we all know that that's going to happen until they get it worked out, and we go from there. But eventually, we're not going to get wiped at all. Whatever you
That's like the
have,
odd man.
yeah, yeah. But we're going to be starting over when they go gold.
Yeah, 1.0.
So, well, that's just another hurdle that we have to hit. And 4.0 is not going to be from 4.0 to 1.0. I don't see that happening. We're going to have dot patches
they're good.
on the 4.0 on the 4.0 tree, the coding branch numbering system. Okay.
Yeah.
They're going to talk about 1.0 at CitizenCon, so we'll see what's going to happen with that. But are there any other questions, comments about Evocati 4.0 and things of that right at this point?
The only one thing I want to say is I didn't mind the wipes because you can take my stuff, you can take this, you can't take away the experience I learned, so I know what I'm going to have to do next time.
Good point. Good point. a lot of people have plans. I have, when we go gold, the ships that I have right now are the building blocks to what I'm going to accomplish in the game when it starts. So I have my fighters, I have my industrial ships, and things like that. So my industrial ships, the ones that I have, are going to be my building blocks to get my funds, and then go from there. So a lot of people, I mean, a lot of people don't think about it, but it's something that you may want to consider, um, to have something that's going to make you money when you start the game.
Oh, I got that.
So,
I got my industrial.
mm-hmm.
I got a salvager and cargo.
Mm-hmm. So, anybody else have any thoughts? Tone, Chiggy,
Uh,
go
uh,
ahead. Go ahead, Tone.
I just lost it. It's all right.
Okay. Soup, you got
Give
something?
me what I want. Just give me what I want.
Well, we all want it.
Give me what I want, what I really, really want.
Gortok,
Yes, sir.
any thoughts?
Uh, Stability's come a long way.
Hmm. Mm-hmm.
I
I
mean, there's
I think
still, here and there, but overall, you know, even the, server error. Okay, well, at least it works,
Yes.
you know.
And
So,
the 30K recovery, that went along where in 318 it wasn't working, and then
right.
they brought it back and it was working again. That's a
Yeah, we didn't
huge
really
thing.
talk about the tech preview too much, but the server recovery on the tech preview almost worked too good. I died and then respawned in the hospital and kind of got into a respawn loop, because that's just where I was. It kept putting me back where I was as opposed to like where I could have been. But I thought
Hmm.
that was actually pretty cool. But there were a couple other times that I got disconnected in the middle of space or on in the spaceport and would come back and be right where I left off.
Well, there's
With
some.
1,800 people on the server, that's pretty cool.
Oh, okay. Okay. Uh, okay. Drop hammer. I have my MSR to smuggle pharmaceuticals between Pyro and Stanton. Okay. We know what you're going to be doing.
And I have my restaurant. If I bring my Pisces and open it up, say, are low on fuel, low on food, low on drink, get in that bed.
Um,
Zero Tex, you got anything?
Nope.
You sure, Tex?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good as well.
All right. And I think we can take this one to a close. Thank you, Ty, for bringing in the information on the Evocati, for actually firsthand because you were there. I
Absolutely.
appreciate everybody stopping through and coming in and giving their thoughts about what we've encountered, what we're seeing, uh, what your thoughts are, and things of that nature. And with this new patch that's about to drop for uh, Crossing Fingers for 24.2, we'll see what this new event's about. And thank you for everybody coming. Billy's Brew, Chicky Man, Everett, Gortok, Road Rash, Ty, Super, Tone, Tex, and Zero,
Dyer.
and Dyer popping in and out. But thank you, and that concludes this Snowbirds meeting room. Everybody, take care.
Take care, everyone.
See you tomorrow in on the regular channel. Take care. Oh,
I
if that patch drops today, I will be streaming that event today. So, everybody,
okay.
have a wonderful wonderful Sunday. Take it easy.
Good stream, Shadow.
Thank you.
Y'all come back now here.
It was on earlier. It was fine.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to